Okay, let me share my screen. Wow, you cannot share the whole screen. You only get a window. All right. We've got Dennis. We got Brian. We've got Aton. We've got Omar. A good thing I didn't remove that. We have Dean. Oh yeah, Lynn, thanks. Oh, no, okay. All right, so we're not doing anything with this today. We need to talk about KMCP. Brian. Um, this is gone. I'm trying to think. Did we have anything? I don't remember. I don't think so. If anything comes to my mind, I'll bring it up. But this KMCP one is the most important, I think, for us to talk about today. Oh, and K-Hook.
Can we mention? I saw Francisco join. Can we mention some of the issues we have on the ADK briefly too?
Oh yeah, we can also talk about let's talk about
Yeah. The
80K.
model config, because I'm curious, like if other people have issue, what I'm seeing too, like OpenAI just doesn't work very well for me.
Yeah. So let's actually I can go into those really quickly first, Francisco. I'll show you I can talk about what those are really quickly and then I think I don't I don't want to dig too deep. So okay, let me find those. There's a couple of issues that we've run into. I'll just paste them here. This is the first one. Um, and this one is about basically what happens. I'm pretty sure I have a detailed description. I don't have it reproducible directly in ADK yet, just because like the environment that it was being tested in was pretty complicated. But not fundamentally, what I think is happening is that basically there's this bit of logic here that says if there's no response candidates, like if there's no pieces of a response, then there's been an error. But it seems like Gemini actually just decided that it was done. So it seems like Gemini is responding with a stop reason, but then ADK thinks that there's been an error, and that propagates up as an error to the user. So that's like the running theory right now after quite a bit of debugging. Again, we also have this on our side to look into, but we did want to surface. So that's the first one, and then the second one is related to OpenAI. So there's it's the issue in our system is oops. Oh, let me actually post that as hold on. Uh, the issue here is posted as a specifically related. Oh wait, no, this is not the right one. Sorry. Oh wait, is this the right one? No, this is not the right one. Oops. Sorry. It's this one. So it doesn't. The title does not say ADK
It is the
specifically.
801. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
no. So but if you look, basically what's happening is it's something to do with light LLM, specifically with the light LLM integration. So back in the day, our default model, it still is our default model for Kagent is an OpenAI model, and that is not like that is not us taking a stance on OpenAI being the best. That's not like that was just a like we just made that choice because we had an open API OpenAI key. Like there was no like super deliberate decision there, and it may be worth revisiting what our default models are. But the default model in Kagent, like when you just install, is the OpenAI, and OpenAI in ADK is implemented with Light LLM, and we've seen some weird issues around tool calls with Light LLM where the system doesn't like it just like if there are issues with the tool calls themselves, then it gets into a totally stuck state. And you end up with this message, an assisted message with tool calls must be followed by tool messages responding to each tool call ID. And then it totally bricks and it can't continue the conversation. So those are the two big ones that we've noticed.
Okay,
But
yeah, thank you for sharing.
the same thing works on other LLM, are you saying, or
Well,
the same issue like working in some other configuration with some other LLM, and then it doesn't work with OpenAI?
Yeah.
yes.
Gemini works fine. Only when we switch to OpenAI, it hits this issue. I don't know with other large language model, but those are the two I tried. Francisco, I think you were trying to say something too.
No, yeah, I was kind of similar question. So, and then the other question, this is the, you said ADK, right? So it's when using ADK through the ADK implementation. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the box and I'll try to see if we can get someone to help here.
Yeah,
Cool.
we would
I-
really appreciate these two issues. We hit it pretty frequently in Kagent when the agent tries to debugging, do a bunch of tool calls.
The first one we have a bug under ADK, right? If I saw correctly, or it's still under Kagent.
I think
It's
the
under
ADK
Kagent right now. No,
Yeah.
no. It's under Kagent right now because I don't have enough reproducibility on just ADK to be comfortable making an issue under ADK yet.
Yeah, both of them are on the Kagent right now, right? In the
Yeah.
repo.
Yeah, because both again, we don't have like we can understandably if we were to pass these off to you, like we can. I think that 801 will be easier to create reproduction steps in ADK directly. So, but not both of the issues are in Kagent right now. So,
Okay, yeah, I'll try to see if we can also reproduce this directly ADK on Kubernetes. Like we do have a couple of guys there, and see if we have the repro, and if not, we'll see how we do it. But yeah, I'll copy right and try to see if we can get someone to help here.
That
would be awesome. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we can definitely provide steps, recreate this in Kagent. We just don't know the steps to recreate it outside of Kagent.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
cool. And also just generally, I would love to know like if you have what the reasoning was to use Light LLM within ADK as opposed to just an OpenAI implementation.
I have no clue. No clue.
All right, I'll believe you this time. No, I'm just kidding. All right, cool. Yeah, because I think like in my weaker moments, I'm like, I feel like we should just have a native implementation because but anyway, all right. So those, okay. Thank you so much.
Just a comment. I
Francisco.
think because we have the Gemini and Anthropic as a native, right? And there are still a lot of people who still using the OpenAI kind of compatible APIs, not necessarily even OpenAI, but OpenAI standard format. I think bringing that native support will be really a good idea. So.
Yeah, I agree. Francisco, do you know if there's already an issue like Light LLM related issues? I'll take a look upstream.
Yeah,
in ADK.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dimitro, would you be able to create that issue in ADK if it doesn't exist?
I can have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. All right, so I'll put that action item. So. Okay. All right. So now I think we're good on that topic. Brian, let's move on to your topic. I want to time box this right now for about 15 minutes because we only have another 30 minutes. We have 15 minutes for this, and we also want to talk about K-hook. So I'm going to post in this PR, and then also this comment here. So, Brian, do you want to give your thoughts and context here?
Sure. I'm trying to see which comment you're posting in. Like, what am I on the record
It's
for?
the one. No, that's fair. It's the one where I'll just bring it up.
That's fine.
It's the one where you said about internal versus external.
That's from today.
Resources.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, I think what it comes down to is I see Kagent and KMCP as two separate projects. I love the integration between them, but I don't like the coupling between them. I don't think you should have to run KMCP to be able to run Kagent. You should be able to run Kagent standalone. KMCP is particularly useful for standard I/O servers, fantastic, but the benefit it provides for SSE or streamable HTTP is debatable. In fact, it's sort of quite restrictive in what you can do with things because of the configuration that's in place. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's great that the two products integrate, but I do see them as separate products. And I think they have separate project life cycles, and I believe that they should be managed separately within the cluster. The way it's been implemented at the moment, you're going to run into massive issues as soon as you try and deploy KMCP and then deploy Kagent, because you've got two controllers now reconciling the same objects.
We already have this issue.
That's the issue today, yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I propose to decouple them. So the Kagent integration to KMCP should be an optional component. KMCP should be a separate controller that controls MCP resources, and you should be able to use that if you want to. But if you don't want to, then Kagent should still work. Some of the smells that I've seen coming through this is that, you see bugs for KMCP now being logged within Kagent. And so you've got PRs that have to go through to KMCP to fix stuff that's actually, from a bug in Kagent. Or, the UI assumes that MCP server is what is going to be used to run the MCP server. And in that way, it sort of feels like the native CRDs are second-class citizens within Kagent. I also think that that MCP servers should be optionally registered. So I saw Lynn had opened a ticket about that. And that's, I guess, that comment there now. I might not want my MCP servers registered within Kagent. I might want some registered and others not. So, all of these sorts of things come, to me, indicate that they have different use cases, and right now the code is too coupled.
Yeah, I think that is a super fair, totally fair. I don't honestly, I don't really have any pushback. I would love to hear what others here in the community feel. Thank you so much for that summary.
So basically, I haven't moved to the latest Kagent. If I understood it correctly, with the latest Kagent, when you install, you don't have a choice whether you want KMCP controller or not. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that means I can't move to the latest either. I didn't know that. Okay.
Anyone else? Dennis.
Yeah, we also did presentation to some company a few days ago, and they tried to install Kagent via the documents. And the first thing they saw is just the conflict of the CRDs of KMCP and Kagent try to get the same object. And it's like, okay, it's not baked. We don't want it right now.
By the way,
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Can you describe the particular challenge you had them running together? I'm just curious. I know you said it doesn't work and that you run into issues.
So basically, if the newcomer tries to install them both on the cluster from the docs says that you need to install KMCP CRDs and Kagent CRDs. Both of them create same, I don't remember which one, but same object and try to take control. So you'll get
Okay.
conflict on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Because the
Yeah.
K agent tries to be smart and install KMCP CRDs, but again, KMCP is so.
But basically, if we separate them, does it mean that from Kagent point of view, all the other MCP will be only remote MCP? That's the outcome, or?
Yeah, all from the K agent perspective, all MCP servers will be services. They'll be HTTP.
Okay.
Which was the
Which
behavior
is
before
true.
the KMCP integration, by the way?
No, we used to be able to run stdio in the engine, but that was bad, right? So the end state would be that every MCP server from the perspective of K agent would be an HTTP service, right? It would be over HTTP. And if you wanted to run stdio servers, right, then you would use KMCP and then you could integrate that with K agent optionally, right? I think that's
Right.
what we're saying.
Yeah, I guess what I was saying is it used to be if you bring your own MCP server, you have to register with K agent anyway. So right now, if people not deploy MCP through KMCP, they have to register, or we make a KMCP an optional component. And then if we deploy MCP server, user have to go through that registration manually, right? So there's no auto discovery.
Can we make like discovery by label in a way or something like this?
Absolutely. So none of this changes the integration. The integration and the auto discovery stays in place as it is today. It just ensures that the components are deployed separately. So you have a separate controller for MCP servers.
Okay.
K agent no longer does that. So you can then manage KMCP separately if you want to, or you could have it deployed alongside K agent. So
okay, so the discovery can be remaining
yes,
as
and the
long as the
integration
user choose KMCP they want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's automatic even. So you don't even have to tell K agent that KMCP to install KMCP. It will detect it in the cluster and will deal with auto discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
then
can just
the
use like a delayed informer or something. Yeah, there are ways to do that for sure.
Yeah. And the fact that you're not using KMCP means you'll be okay with manually register your MCP server, right?
Well, nothing's changed to that degree either. So you would still need to create your MCP server now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the registration is, I mean, to your issue from yesterday, Lynn, I would like it to work in the same way as the services. You know, that you would tag your MCP server with a label that says K agent discover type of thing.
Yeah.
So let's follow. I do want to follow up on that for 1 second. So what about the remote MCP server? Do you want the discovery for that to be automatic or no?
Well, that's a first class resource. So that works as it is right now.
Sure, but do you want I think that I would almost separate discovery as a little bit of a separate thing where it's like discovery is like, you know, it's almost like, should it be opt-in as a whole? Should it be opt-out as a whole? Right? It's like, I don't know. It's almost like
well, I think that remote MCP server, if you look at it in that way, is already opt-in because it's
because you're creating
one way of telling K agent about the existence of an MCP tool.
Oh,
you know,
I buy
you
that
create
logic.
an MCP a remote MCP server resource, or you label your service and K agent picks that up, or you label your remote MCP or your MCP server there. So, I mean, I've got more on this topic, but in terms of, I don't really want to muddy this too much.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a UX thing that I brought up, Will, that we had a bit of a chat about previously. And there's an issue with service and MCP server because those are secondary resources. The K agent controller can't update them. So when you create
Correct.
The controller picks it up and says, okay, does something with it, but then you don't know about anything. Right now, the only thing that happens is it gets stored in a database. Now, if there's an error in there, that doesn't reflect within the cluster. Now, that feels very unidiomatic to me. I would far rather be back at the sort of tool server layer, where the tool servers in the database are reflected in the cluster, and those then reference. So when, for example, an MCP server is detected, a tool server gets created, and the status of that tool server gets updated to reflect the tools. Because I work in Kubernetes, so I want everything, I want to be able to kubectl describe something and see all the information. Right now, with an MCP server, it's created, and I have to go and look at controller logs to try and understand if something's wrong or not.
Yeah, I think it's super fair. And I think we should offer, like, it's interesting because, again, I've seen, for example, I've seen a lot of people like I feel like you exist on one end of the spectrum where you're like, give me the CRDs, right? But then I've also met people who are like, I never want to create a CRD in my life,
Yeah.
And so like, it's like, there are some people who really love using services. And there's some people who, and I feel like I really want to be able to support both,
Yep.
So I agree with you. Yeah. That you should be able to use the remote MCP server in all cases if you want it. Okay. All right. Anyone have any further thoughts on this? I think it's how you spell that. All right. Okay, so I mean, I can't argue with any of this. What do y'all? I mean, this will obviously be a breaking change. Clearly. But
Okay, so sorry, I don't want to go into K-hook there, but how do you see this as a breaking change? What's broken? Because let me address that.
well, it wouldn't be breaking. I mean, it's definitely. I think you'd need a major release, right? Because you're basically ripping out. If you're using an MCP server with Kagent and not KMCP, which I don't know, there may be no people who are doing that, right? But assuming you are doing that, the behavior is different now. You need to install KMCP first.
No, so I've integrated that into the Helm chart as well. So if you're installing the Helm chart as you are today, by default, everything will still work.
Cool. Oh, well then,
okay. All you get is one extra pod.
Got it. Well,
now, if you have KMCP already installed in your cluster, then you should probably set that flag to enable to false so that you don't run into CRD conflicts, and everything again still works.
All right. Well, you're way ahead of me. So if other interested parties in this call could look over Brian's PR, and that would be immensely helpful, and we can make a decision about whether this is worthy of an 080. Or an 070. I still think it might be. I
would agree that it would be worth that. Yes.
Whether it's like breaking or not. So if others could help review that PR, that'd be awesome. I do think this will be a fundamental shift.
Installation on Monday. I can try it.
Cool. That would be great. Yeah. I think as many eyes
is actually the CRD ownership of the Helm, right? This is the only conflict that was between two charts.
Well, also you have the multiple controllers of the same resource.
Yeah, but beside that, the installation, like from the chart perspective,
yes,
if you install them together, the only thing that kind of overlaps, it's just the CRD.
Yep.
And if we do a new release, we can probably finally let go of the tool server API.
Yes, we can actually delete the code. Yeah. Except Brian's like, no, bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back. Don't. You're gonna regret this.
It's funny. I actually liked the name tool server, but it is what it is. I think the broader community understands MCP as kind of a stand-in for tools. So anyway, it is what it is. Okay. Anyway, let's all review this PR, put our thoughts there. We're not going to make any decisions right this moment because we're not planning
That's
on doing
fine.
070. But let's review the PR and let's definitely, let's continue the conversation there. I think thank you so much, Brian. This is awesome. I appreciate all of your thoughts and the work that you've done here.
Awesome. I must run,
So,
so sorry to duck and leave, but I'll
No,
catch
that's
you
all
with the
right.
meeting notes. Thanks so much. I look forward to any feedback. Cheers.
All right. See you later, Brian. Now I think Brian, that whole topic bleeds very well into our next conversation, which is K-Hook, and I will get the link to that. Give me 1 second. This is not the link. Where is it? Here it is. So I think, oh no, I want the text. Copy text. Oh no, not that. Just this. What is happening? Oh my God, here we go. Okay. So for those who weren't here on, I know you probably have a demo. Okay, so for those who weren't here on, I'll just give a brief summary. For those who weren't here on Tuesday, Ant has created an awesome new project, and it's funny. I say that it fits well with what you said because if we, moving forward, it may exist as kind of a similar integration pattern where it is a sub thing that can be used with Kagent or cannot, depending on your use case and your desire. So with that, I will kick it over to Ant. Ant?
Yeah, thank you, Ethan. And I'll try a demo. I think the environment is ready for that. Just a few words for those who weren't there about K-Hook. So first I'll show this. Okay. So yeah, this is K-Hook. Basically, the idea is, right now the agents in Kagent are easy to run and deploy, but the only way you can actually, summon an agent is by chatting to it. Now, in my head, agents are something that works on our behalf, right? So it's there when we're not there. So I really wanted them to be reactive, and that's why the missing piece in my head was this hook that would say when something happens, summon an agent. Okay, and that's exactly what K-Hook does. So it defines a CRD. So probably Brian would like that. So it's a hook. Basically, it has those event configurations here, and it defines a number of events that it currently can take care of. These are Kubernetes events, of course, that it's listening on.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. And whenever something happens, again, we'll need probably to look deeper into what the events are and what, because these are some events that I've defined inside K-Hook, and they correspond to certain Kubernetes events. And then whenever an event happens, so we can define which agent to call. So for example, we have an agent called incident responder, and then there is the prompt here. Now in this example here, it's not, but this prompt can also be templated, so it sends the resource name and the timestamp of the when event happened, and sends that to the agent. And of course, we want the agent to work autonomously, so we're telling it to not reply to the hook, but instead fix whatever needs to be fixed and not to ask too many questions. And hopefully, I will now run a demo and it will work. So I'll share a window. Okay, this is the screen. And this is, okay, so here is, I have Kagent running and over. And yeah, just a second. Okay, so Okay, so I do have Kagent installed here with one agent out of the box, which is the Kubernetes agent that has all the tools, and there's Khook running next to it. And I have the dashboard running. Now, what I want Khook to do is basically when there's a pod that goes into a crash loop backoff to start to chat with Kagent. Let's see if that actually happens. So you can see my screen, right? Okay, so I do krun, and I'm running this pod named Failio, and inside the container, I'm running pinned localhost, which is clearly an incorrect command. So I'm expecting this container to start crashing and restarting. Okay, and we do kget pod, and it starts with run container error. And of course, after a while, it goes into crash loop backoff. And if we now go to the Kagent dashboard, we should now see that there is a new chat here, a new session, and the message arrived. A pod named Failio has restarted in namespace default. It sends the whole prompt that's defined in the hook, and the agent starts. It tries to page the pod. It, of course, finds out that the pod cannot be paged because it's immutable. So then it will get resources, and hopefully, in the end, it will delete. So it deletes the pod, and then we can see that it creates the pod. And each time it actually finds a different fix for this. So let's see what it did. Okay, so it tells us what the problem was, because it was trying to run pinned, and it's not a correct command. And explanation. So I deleted the faulty pod. Okay, I successfully created a new failure, and instead of, so I would expect it to do ping to localhost, and it actually succeeded on a few of the previous runs, but this time it just decided to run sleep for 3,600 seconds. And if we go back to here,
That's so funny.
we'll see that it's actually running, and we'll look at it. We'll see that, first of all, it annotated this with Kagent fix and the timestamp of the fix, because that's what prompt instructed it to do, and that's what it did. Again, maybe I should have composed a different prompt that would tell it to actually try to fix the command if it sees that the command is not correct. Whatever, but anyway, the pod was failing, and now it's running. So we can say it's a kind of a fix. That's it. So the idea here is, of course, reactive agent execution, and so that incident response becomes automated.
This is so cool. The first thing I want to say is I think it's so funny that the first thing it did is delete the pod. I love that. Like, it's like when I'm coding and I tell it there's a problem and it just deletes the whole function. And I'm like, no, you know. But anyway, that was so cool. Thank you so much for the demo. Seriously.
Okay. Yeah, that was Khook.
Yeah. Super cool. So yeah, so basically, so I was speaking with Ant, and we're was saying that I think it would be awesome to bring Khook under the Kagent umbrella, because I think it's super valuable.
Definitely. No, like,
Yeah. So
maybe I want to address some question like, I want to create some distributed system with like a lot of MCPs, a part of the SRE system that runs on a lot of clusters. And as for our NOC team, they have playbooks that they run some scripts like delete pods, redeploy, like regular stuff. And we try to do the same as what Anton did, but with some event scraper and the server side push notifications to the board, and it was like pain, and I don't want to do that. But if we have Khook that I can actually implement in all the system, it's gonna be great. But we're gonna have like glass of pane that is the chat, the UI, the knock person or 30 person sit there, work with that, get notifications that MCP did something good in the cluster, maybe not particularly patch or delete, but hey, I'm gonna delete or something like that.
Yeah. Probably again, we could introduce some kind, like the prompt could instruct the agent to ask for approval, and maybe
Yeah.
find how
It's awesome.
approval is asked for. So
Yeah.
there
I mean,
could
the
be
point is that it's
an
starting
additional,
the yeah.
communication agent running there that the agent could contact in order to ask for approval. Yeah, agent. Sorry.
I mean, I also just I agree. I think it's it can just be the start, right? It's like an incident response, right? It's like it opens whatever, maybe it opens a Slack. You know what I mean? It just starts. It's like, hey, I'm responding. This happened. This is what's going on. I tried this. It didn't work. Something like that. Cool. Yeah. So I mean, I see so much potential here, right? Like we can add different event types. I mean, there's just like the possibilities are literally endless. This is so cool.
Okay. And we were talking about bringing this under the Kagent dev org.
Yep.
If everybody's on board with that.
Thumbs up from me. All right, I see a load of thumbs up. So, all right, I think so. We can we'll begin that process offline. But yeah, so super duper excited about that. Yeah, I mean, again, I say this at every meeting, but I just want to stress how freaking cool it is. The stuff that is being built here and with Kagent on top of Kagent, it's so freaking cool, and I'm so happy to see it. And I think this is just another piece of the piece of the puzzle. It's gonna make it's gonna bring like AI into like reliability engineering and all that. It's just super cool. So
yeah.
All right. We're about at time. Let me just write begin process of moving into Kagent dev. Okay. So so that's all. Does anyone have anything else they want to briefly mention before we break till next week? Oh, I do want to mention, sorry. Next week we will be off on Tuesday. Solo has an offsite in Cape Cod. So if anyone's going to be on Cape Cod next week, just kidding. But yeah, so we'll all be away. So we're going to take a break next week, and then we'll plan to come back the week after. So
I'll be in Hamburg at Container Days talking about Kagent.
Oh,
awesome.
Send us some pictures.
Yeah, send us the talk and everything. We'd love to see it. Cool. Well, without further ado, it was great to see everyone. Great to chat, and we'll talk later.
Yeah, great
Bye.
demo today.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ant.